You.
Hit the blue.
You're going to start in front of the box, so you can do that. Yeah, from the back. You looking good. Yeah. Okay, good.
Hit the blue to bring it.
How's it going, everybody? Happy Sunday, happy PACE meeting. So I'm Trevor. I'll be your host today. So we're gonna go over those everything: products, customers, you name it. Everyone's weekly experience, how everybody's doing, and we're gonna start off with. Is it in order? Never mind. I mean, I guess we can start with the product video.
That's right.
Product video by Ms. Carol. So, Nutrilite. That is the first order of business.
Awesome. Hey. Oh, Alex is about new. Hit play.
This year, Nutrilite celebrates 80 years of growth. In 1934, my father, Carl Rimborg, introduced the first multivitamin, multimineral supplement marketed in the United States, made with phytonutrients. In 1942, my father developed his Nutrilite farming practices, growing alfalfa without pesticides and harmful chemicals. In 1948, Nutrilite XX is introduced, selling for $20. Today, Nutrilite is the world's #1 selling vitamins and dietary supplement brand. In 1949, future Amway founders Jay Van Andel and Rich DeVos become top distributors of Nutrilite products. In 1956, Nutrilite produces one of the first vitamin C supplements derived from a natural source, acerola cherries. In 1958, Nutrilite publishes the first document on nutrient deficiency in the U.S. population. In 1972, Nutrilite Products Incorporated becomes part of the Amway Corporation. In 1989, the C.F. Rimborg Professorship of Disease Prevention is established at the Stanford University School of Medicine. In 1998, our organic farms doubled in number. Each location was selectively chosen to deliver quality and efficacy from seed to supplement. In 2002, Nutrilite is recognized as the only global vitamin and mineral brand to grow, harvest, and process plants on their own certified organic farms. In 2004, the Nutrilite Health Institute establishes the NHI Scientific Advisory Board, consisting of leading global scientists in the fields of nutrition and optimal health. In 2012, Nutrilite research on the phytonutrient gap in American and Korean diets is published in the renowned journal of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. In 2013, Body Key by Nutrilite, a weight management system, is introduced. And Nutrilite products are found in more than 64 countries worldwide. In 2014, Nutrilite celebrates 80 years of helping people to better health and better nutrition. I would like to thank all of you for being the greatest products of the product and helping us to become the #1 selling vitamin and dietary supplement brand in the world.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. That's one thing I like about the business.
5 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables daily.
That's okay. We're just making sure everybody's paying attention.
That's one thing I like about the business is how credibility and accountability doesn't just apply with the mentorship program, but the fact that there's a multi-billion-dollar business backing us, and they have proof to show why they're the best in the business. So, it's videos like that that definitely help, build you up, motivate you every day. I'm trying to get like Roger. My motivation needs to be at like 100. So next we're gonna go over customer huddle. So I'm assuming we talk about everybody's experience for customers this week. If anybody has stories, and I guess I can start with myself. Even though the topic is technically Nutrilite, I'm going to talk about excess a little bit. So one of my good friends, he's like a brother. We talk on a regular basis. I say like maybe once a week, maybe twice. we're both very busy because, you know, I got like 4 jobs. He's got one really good job. So, but, you know, he doesn't drink coffee, but we talked and he was like, oh, you know, I'm getting my coffee. I'm like, you don't drink coffee. But you know what? I got something better for you, bro. I got this energy drink. It's natural, no sugar. It's good. And it doesn't give you those real high highs. It just levels you out and keeps you awake and alert. And he's like, sign me up. Give me some. I'll get that. I'm like, to support you, bro. Because he knows I'm doing something. He don't know what it is, but he's like, support it. So, you know, take advantage of that when I can. Anybody else have customer stories?
Awesome. That's a good one.
Yep. I have one. Sorry, team. So, yep, Ronnie Wilson here. I have a recent customer experience with Nutrilite. So last week I got a random call from the Bahamas, and it was an old friend. Celia might remember this guy. It was Alex. So his mom actually was in the business, and she doesn't do any business anymore. But he was looking for XX. So he called me and he was like, bro, I'm in the gym. I'm working. I'm tired all the time. I need XX. Can you help me? I was like, duh, absolutely. So I just placed the order yesterday for him. So he should have his XX order. I'm sending it to the Bahamas next week for him. So.
Awesome.
All right.
All right, so I have one. This is live, people. This just in. Okay. All right, I had gone to visit my father in Schnellville. So on the way back, I stopped off at the Centerville Walmart, you know, and there was this guy in the Walmart stuff looking for biotin, you know, and I passed him real quickly. I said, you know, those are synthetic. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah. I said, you know, you need to get some organic stuff, you know, and he just sent me a text. So I said, hi, Keith, sir. Keffler. Hi, Keffler. This is Kenneth Drayton. We were talking about biotin in Walmart. This is the organic and plant-based biotin. I can get you free samples. It is potent. And what I did is I went to our online Acrobat catalog, the full catalog, and I cropped, you know, the biotin out. And the biotin, by the way, is our health, nails, and hair. Right. It has a lot of biotin in it, you know. Of course, I found that out recently. and he said, thank you, Mr. Drayton. I really want to try them out. I would appreciate it if you are able to get samples. I said, awesome, Keffer. When would be a good time? When would be a good time next week? Because I gotta get the bottle, you know. And he says, he says, you let me know what works best for you.
Wait.
Yeah, and our yeah, and our data is gonna trigger. Our data is gonna trigger tomorrow. So I'm just gonna make sure tonight I put it in. Boom, I get it to him and tell him, look, man, you're so lucky, you know.
That's awesome. I think we have a couple more here in town in Tallahassee. This is so funny.
I got you. Go ahead.
Appreciate it. I'm a tango or detangle myself. Yeah. Hey, wait, team to the world. Good news is the Joneses have some really good business thing going on there. They both good stuff. So we connected with Brittany's sister Betty from church, right? So Sister Betty, she said she of course wants to support Brittany and everything that Brittany does, yada yada yada, really good stuff. And what happened, we asked Sister Betty if there's any area of your health that you'd like to see improved, you know, what would it be? And she talked about her eyes, wanting help with her eyes. So we talked about the potency of our vision health and our multi-carotene night vision supplements. So she's getting those next month, right? And funny story, which I know we're on Nutrilite, but this was really hilarious. Well, yeah, we're not going to do the other one that's hilarious. But what happened is that while she was talking to us, she talked about her skin, you know, getting some bad reactions, and she's drying out a heck of a lot. So we actually had some of our GNH lotion there, and it was real not right, you know, down there by her elbow. So she just took a little dab of our GNH and put it on the spot, and she was like, whoo! And she went all crazy and was madly in love with it. And right on the spot, she bought that together with also the Nutrilite mixed pack of mixed case of, Immunity Twist Tubes, Joint Health, and Mango Citrus because she's madly in love with mangoes, right? You know, so she's super excited by that. So got some good customer volume for this month and of course early next month. And personally, I have a friend of mine who does my hair. You know, trying to keep me up to speed, you know, and when she does my hair, she's always impressed by the satanic line. So later when we do satanic, I'll tell you guys about that. But she talked about overcoming some serious illness recently. She talked about the illness she was just going through, caused her to lose a significant amount of weight. And we've always talked about her taking supplements because she's kind of a picky eater, right? But she was concerned about tablet size and a whole bunch of things. But the good news is, as most of you guys might know already, is that the Neutralite XX formula was recently revamped, and now the tablet size are significantly smaller. So, and of course, the potency of XX blows everybody's mind when they use it. So she's now signed up to be a customer of mine for XX. So I'm very, very excited to help her with it, and also balanced health omega-3s because she doesn't eat a lot of fish. And of course to get that omega-3s in her system. So very, very excited by that. So woot.
No man, listen.
You good? What you say?
I'm good already.
Oh, okay.
We have another one here. Yeah, just give away you've been a VIP and whatnot.
Hello, everyone. So today I had the person ask me, but every time I interact with someone, they're asking me what are the things that I take, and I talk about vitamins, supplements, the difference between getting pure ones and getting synthetic ones from Walmart or from CVS, or because they keep saying, oh, they have some sales at the pharmacy, those types of vitamins, I should get some. And I'm like, and I would explain to them the patent formulas we have and how we receive more of the vitamins from our vitamins as opposed to the ones that just go straight through your bloodstream and you see it through your urine and you feel a little bit better and you're like, oh yes, I'm gonna get some more. And I was like, okay, imagine if you actually got the nutrients deposited into you. So I say that all the time. And my mother's husband, he's been trying to change his lifestyle around. He's a truck driver and he's trying to diminish the amount of alcohol he's consuming. And so yesterday at Marriage Matters ministry that we were at, both me and Brandon has been sharing our testimonies about, you know, losing weight and, you know, feeling better, more energized and stuff. So he just was like, okay, let me get some vitamins. And I was like, if you're really serious, you can get some vitamins from me. And so I thought he was playing yesterday, but today he's just like, let me order some vitamins from you. Can I get a men's cut? Because that's the one that I was talking about. So tonight we're going to order some vitamins. Okay. Sorry.
He's doing what he's supposed to do.
Anybody else?
Anybody else?
Oh, anybody else got any customer stories? No? Yes? John?
I got it. You got any customer service?
All right, next order of business. Okay, I'm back. All right, also, quick, if dropping your message, sharing your story, which is something everyone should be doing on a regular basis because conversations at least 5 a day, or a day, whatever you can, is always good. Customer volume, there's no limit. You can just, yeah. And customers, you know, that conversation is a little easier. You just be like, oh, yeah, I got my own business. What you looking for? Yeah. So, you know, they will look at you weird. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, next we have the streaming by Miss Julia Rose.
Hey!
Money in the house.
Yes.
Hey y'all. The stream that I chose / was given to from CLA is to handle objections by Dan Ewan. The stream number is WW595. I'm very grateful that she sent me this stream because the last time I listened to it was when I was going through the process, and I didn't listen to it ever since until last week. And she gave it to me because I was having a doubtful moment of why am I doing the business when my family doesn't even believe in it or even try to invest in it when I say this is a family business. I only have, surprisingly, my mother, I was telling you guys that she actually like invested into it the next day. And what's funny, my grandma, she thought it was a whole Ponzi scheme, it's a scam. But she bought something from me. I don't know how that works. I was like, so you investing in a scam? Okay. That's cool. So I'm very glad she sent me this because it just went over how to not take it personally. That's what the 3 main points that Dan was saying in the very beginning of the stream. Don't take it personally. Candidates think they know better, know more than you. And the first objective is never the real thing. And I'm glad I thought about it because I was glad that this was part of the process because there was a moment after I listened to the stream during my process, I literally tried to look up Dan Ewan on Google. And I was like, who is this guy? Why should I listen to him? What does he make in a year? I'm literally looking this up. Like, but he clearly says, I have thousands of bad reviews on the internet. Mother Teresa has thousands of bad reviews on the internet. Don't take anything on the internet seriously. Not everything is credible. Like he was saying before, the internet is a bathroom wall internationally. Like anyone can go on there and write a blog, write anything and make it look credible and easy to follow for sheep. So I just wanted to mention that and to just let everyone know, for me personally, when I listen to the stream, just because you're doing this for your family or whoever, but it's just better for you to just do it for yourself because at the end of the day, you want this so you can live a better life for yourself. And eventually those people will follow. And that's what I got.
Wow.
Thanks, Julia Rose. That was great. That was great.
Yes, go ahead.
So yeah, that was definitely a great stream. I listened to that stream too. I love it because I'm very much a people person, and my excuse, I guess you could say, of being a people person is like I just don't like being the person that upsets people. So I'm just gonna make you happy any way I can, and sometimes it's not good because you make everyone else happy, and then you just end up upsetting yourself. Yeah. So next we have book of the month or book of the month.
Hey, go this time. Woo!
Hello, everyone, again. So I actually wrote down what I wanted to say because it was a lot. So I rotate between about 3 books every week. The 3 books that I'm rotating between this week is Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People, Business of the 21st Century. I throw that in the rotation all the time just so I keep myself up on everything that's in the book. And then the third one is What to Say When You're Talking to Yourself. So from all of those books and all of the streams and all of the things that I've been going through my notes from previous conferences, because I realized that I have massive amounts of notes and have not really went through all of them and done the things that I wanted to do with them. And it's like, man, I had all these good ideas. Reading the book, it made me realize I had all these good ideas that I gathered from the conferences that I didn't quite put together or go through that I wanted to. So because of all of that, I realized that I had to take a step back and really figure out what I needed to do for myself to change my own perspective on what I was doing so that I could take in the knowledge and then be able to manifest it out. So what I gathered from Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, is that I learned to no longer look at our business, building our business to make money to bridge gaps between our bills and to fund miraculous trips that I don't really even care about focusing on right now. But to look at it as a business that can grow, that I can grow and learn what it takes to be a good steward in every sense of the word. So what's been coming to me is being a good steward, being saying hi, smiling, because we're continuously working on ourselves. And I felt that I had to continuously focus on fixing myself first so that I can help others do the same. And then reading the book made me realize you're never going to completely fix yourself. And that's the beauty of working on yourself, because everybody's working on themselves. And that makes you more personable as well, too. Also, I also learned through our business about managing our finances with the zero-based budgeting and I made the choice to become aware of what our financial situation was and to look at how we can clear up leaks and pay off debt and scale back on some of the frivolous things that we were spending and set aside things for like family expenses or, I call it famine and favor. So things that arise that you didn't even think was going to happen, or when you're in moments of scarcity. We learned that through the zero-based budgeting. And we would have never learned that through business school, through any of those things, because I didn't learn that in school. And also through creating a ditto list, working on developing a ditto list and creating a plan to redirect where we purchase our items from, and so we can increase our seed money to fund in the business, and it's not coming from our income, but coming from what we're making. Like we make sales, and whatever we get at the end of the month, we redirect. We're learning to do all of that. And most important thing that I'm learning is how to treat people and how to treat myself, because in a part of treating people the way you want to be treated, you got to treat yourself a particular type of way. Like if you're, judging yourself, or if you're angry with yourself, or if you're self-deprecating yourself, you may not realize that, but that comes out when you're speaking to someone, where instead of smiling and being non-judgmental, even if a person you're smiling at is just like, what are you smiling at me for? Continuously smiling at that person and showing that person regard, as if, doesn't matter if you don't know me and you think I'm weird. Like we actually saw a guy with a bunch of tattoos on his face with his wife. I don't know if that was his wife, but it was the person who he made the baby that was in the cart with. And I just thought it was beautiful to see a family together. So we're looking at him and we're like, and then he's like, you got a problem? Like, no, we don't have a problem. But it's just like, we saw something beautiful, and, we have to share that. So I'm learning from this book that it doesn't matter what anyone thinks. It doesn't matter what their preconceived notion is. It's all about making the choice for yourself to be so confident in the fact that you have something to offer, that that the person knows nothing about the opportunity. However, you're giving them the interruption. And if they choose to allow themselves to be interrupted, then you're offering up an opportunity for them that they didn't even know existed. And because you're doing that, you can't be mad at people when they're just like, who are you? Why are you smiling so much? And what are you talking about, all these positive things, or mentoring and coaching? And just like, I also learned from this book how to listen, because I realized for myself when I was sharing my story that I was so focused on, let me hurry up and share my story, or let me hurry up and drop the message, that I wasn't giving the person a chance to speak, to show them that, I'm not trying to push something on them. Just because I see something that can work for them doesn't mean that they see the thing that can work for them. I have to give them the opportunity to talk, to open up, to build the connection, properly and not force the connection. So I've been learning a lot from this book, and I wrote a whole bunch of stuff, but that's what I'm good
Wrap it back in.
I can hear it.
Thanks, Miss Crystal. That was There's some great knowledge, some great nuggets on the book. The one thing I've been doing a lot lately is I've been trying to turn like any random situation into a kind of like DTM. Like last Tuesday, we were talking about eggs. We're talking about Cela's eggs. It's a really great story. She'll tell you about it. But you should have told him, oh, nothing. I just loved your family. And he would have smiled. I guarantee he would have smiled. Anyway, next we're gonna go over process huddle, which is on the MG1 and MG2.
Awesome.
So
yeah, all right.
Everybody.
Yes, I know.
Roger's gonna go first.
Roderick. Fire.
Yeah, Roger here. Happy, of course, to be here. Another PASE meeting. So it's great. Like he's talking about MG1, MG2. I've been going through a whole lot recently, and I've learned a lot as well. I realized that hey, with the process, don't rush the process. Enjoy the process. Like it's a reason why it's called a process. Make sure that it's done correctly. So going through for example, at MG1, I connected with a guy. He's a Nigerian. I'll just say, hey, it's a guy, right? So I connected with him. First MG1 went great, but after the end of that MG1, I sent him the book and everything. For the MG2, he only read the first 5 pages of the book. I was like, oh, okay. Of course, don't attack them now. Please don't attack the people. Just hear their side of the story and get an understanding. And when he's pretty much relating to me, I found out that he actually worked a post office job, whereas post office they work like 12 hours or something like that, a long shift. And he hasn't even got a lot of sleep lately. One time when I even gave him the book, he just came from his job. So he's pretty much he's let me know his side of why I wasn't able to finish. I was like, no problem. Tell you what, let's reschedule a meeting. And because I actually had it set up for him to at the MG2, I had to set up for him to go to the Tuesday meeting, but because he didn't make it there, and he had his clothes and everything ready, he's ready to go. He's like, I'm sorry you wouldn't be able to make it this meeting tonight as much. And for example, before we'd have been so excited, like, shoot, man, I want to guest at the Tuesday meeting, I want an eagle, But no, don't think of that. It's the process, right? So you're thinking long term. You're not trying to rush someone through the process to get an eagle or a award, and then long term it jack up and turn right back around in your business and you don't see any results, right? So definitely, if he doesn't reschedule a meeting based on what they thought would follow your gut. Let me just say that, follow your gut based on the candidate. And if you think they are worth another shot to say, hey, continue, rebook the MD2 to go forward with it, go ahead and do so. And right now, we'll actually be meeting again Tuesday, this Tuesday coming actually, a little early in the day to do the MG2. And he's like, hey, I'll be there, I'll be on time, and I'll have the book read. I say, okay. So you want to do it right. And that's how also you practice accountability as well. They realize that, shoot, I got to be accountable to this process. I'm not going to be here for months. If I prolong things or based on the posture you gave them, like, shoot, like this dude's serious. Like, he ain't just talking the talk. And then we just go and talking through, the whole thing, and whatever happens, whatever sticks on what sticks. He's like, no, I actually have to do this assignment. This is an assignment that has to be done to move on. And if you don't see me moving on, then you can drop me. So I better get on thing, Exactly. I better get up. So it's a practice of accountability as well. So definitely I say, hey, go through the process, go hard at it, and mean what you say, by following actions. People really watch, they watch you also on top of what you say, but they really follow they follow your facial expressions as well. So they see you're serious about it, and they're gonna take you serious. All right, so you give off when you get back what you give off. That's it.
I have one.
Oh, go for it.
All right. So I guess a couple of weeks ago, I was in a Barnes and Nobles. That's usually where I go after work, like a Starbucks, a Barnes and Nobles. So I ran into a guy. He was, in the anime book section, manga. So shared my story with him. Understood that he was a student about to graduate. Didn't really have much direction. So I sat down with him. I did an MG1 with him 2 weeks ago, and last week I did the MG2 with him. So he read the whole book. He came he came to the MG2 prepared with not a lot of written stuff, but a lot of like mental notes. And I could tell, you know, based on how we were going back and forth, that he had dissected the book, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I'm excited." And he was just excited to learn more, and we did the napkin plan, and everything made sense to him. So he's moving on big time. I'm taking the process slow with him because I huddled with Compton. He's in the process of graduating, so I'm taking the process very, very slow with him. Maybe just once a week we catch up. So he's gonna go to BP1, and then we'll see how he progresses through the process. So I agree with Roderick. You know, just don't rush the process. You know, don't be mean to people in the process. Just just be loving, and you know, not everybody moves through the process at their own pace. So run at their pace, not at the pace you want people to get through the process, to fly through the process. That's not what the process is about. It's about MG1 and MG2 are critical meetings to see if this is somebody you could really work with. So you want to take it really slow and make sure you get it right, because you don't want to go to a follow-up one or even to a launch, and then that person is not properly vetted. So I love the process. That's just one of my recent stories. I have a lot more, but that's just one.
Hey, how y'all doing, family? I actually got a story to tell from.
We can't hear you.
Go ahead. I actually got a story to tell. It wasn't even my MG1, my MG2. It's actually one of my downlines, MG1, MG2. But it was kind of funny how things worked out on it, and I strongly recommend that if you're still new and you're shadowing someone, definitely make time to sit with your mentors and when they go through the process, so you can understand how to handle certain objections. Yeah. That's really key. You know, we can leverage our mentors, of course, if we absolutely cannot be there. But it's so good for you to be there, because that's very important. We had a scenario, matter of fact, Miss Julia Rose organization, a guy that she introduced me to. He has a self-employed business. He's traveled from Tallahassee to Pensacola, back and forth. And I think we rescheduled a couple of times with him. And Julia sent out a text. She called me. She was like, "Hey, what do I say to this guy, this and that?" I told her, "Hey, edify your mentor and let him know that time is very important. This is the last time that we're going to set the schedule, and you need to be there if you don't. You know, you need to be there, or you know, we can't work with you." So pretty much around those lines. And then on top of that, it was the text message that she sent was so impactful that we ended up meeting at 7 o'clock in the morning. Wow. It was like 7 in the morning. I was like, "Hey, if he doesn't meet this time, that's it. That's the and then Julia definitely agreed on it." And then when we sat down and talked, even though his dad had a self-employed business, and he has his own self-employed business, and I guess they're doing well in it, he doesn't know more than me. That's the thing. I'm coming in this thing properly equipped, you know. And then the things that I was talking to him about, it was, yes, his dad, some of the things his dad taught him from a self-employed point of view. But the thing is that crossing over to that big business quadrant, he didn't know anything about it, because if he did, his dad would have never been self-employed still. Yes, that? Yes. So that was the really pretty cool thing about it. When I talked to him, it went from him, you know, having air about himself of being self-employed to like, holy crap, this guy knows his stuff, you know? Because and it's not being mean to him or anything. It's just showing him, hey, there's a different light of things. And everything I said, my tone, my terminology, everything was still copacetic. I didn't climb all over him. Even if it was the third time meeting him. It was just so important that when we sat down and talked, that we got to know each other. Because first of all, I got to know him. He got to know me a little bit better. He was a pretty upscale guy. But I had to let him know that this is serious. You cannot make me an option if I make you a priority. That's the main thing that I discussed with him, you know. And I was like, hey, the way we've been taught, if we set something up and something comes up, tell something that you had something else to do, you know. And I told him, and then when I told him, hey, we gave him the book, and I told him, hey, if I give you this book, the book has to be read next time we met. And he was like, yes, sir, it will be done. And from talking to him and also gathering information, I kind of understood how his schedule was worked out. So it helped me plan for the future.
And the MG2 we actually got tomorrow with him. And and I told him when I set the MG2 in the day, I set it for Monday. I told him, hey, if we set this thing, you have to be there. You know, make sure the book is ready, and you have to be there. No exceptions. Be accountable for your dreams and goals. And he was like, I will be there. And I'm pretty sure, I'm like 90-some% sure that he's gonna read this book and we're gonna definitely sit down and talk. So yeah, that's the thing, and the reason why it was so important for Julia to be there, because if anything like that else happen, if that happens again in the future, Julia can do it without me, you know, and that was the main thing. So because we've been through this, and it's kind of funny how things repeat itself. It always repeats itself. That's the reason why it's so great about this business. Like your mentors experience it, and they're showing you, hey, this is what you do, and then it works. It's awesome. So that's one thing. Hey, stay close to your mentors, and we're living proof of it. I'm happy to be a part of this. Thank you.
Yeah, way to the world. Yeah, I don't know if I'm that fired up in how Aaron is, you know. I'm trying to do it. Right, that's me, right? So yeah, guys, real quick, Celia Wilson had some great experience with doing some MGs. I'm gonna touch on a lot of things real quick. Exactly what Roderick talked about, taking your time through the process. We ran into that this past week with Brittany's business, you know, and Joseph Aaron's business. I don't know how to call you, but his name is Joseph and Aaron. So yeah, we get confused there. I do anyway. I get confused. So you know, when we realize that you need to slow things down, because just as Roderick talked about and Rodney talked about, you want to make sure that the quality is up to par by the time you're ready to launch. Roderick and I were talking actually just before PASE. We trying to make sure that even through the 7-step process of the process, that you're kind of eyeing how soon they'll HTP. So if you as a coach, even though that person might be saying the right things and stuff like that, we as a coach need to kind of listen to subtleties that that person may not be saying and ask deep questions and get proper answers. Because if we don't, just as Rodney said, you're talking about launching somebody who's not properly vetted. You know, so we had that situation, not that exact situation, but with respect to Brittany connected me with a young lady by the name of Bumi, I think, yeah, Bumi, yeah, on a day this week, Wednesday, Thursday, some day this week. I can't remember, the days are merging in, yeah? And that young lady, she's in the process of a few projects. So just as Roderick talked about, is that we didn't give her the book right away. I said, you know what, take your time, get your projects done, do whatever you need to read and get it done. I said, when would that period of, you know, schoolness happen, because she's doing her MBA. This is her last semester, I think. Is it her last semester? Last semester, she's about to graduate, so things deep, you know. So we realized that she's going to be done with everything by Thursday of this week. So we're going to give her the book on Thursday. So we actually booked the MG2 on the following week. Yes, can't remember days getting merged. It's on the calendar, which is most important. It's most important to be on the calendar, right? So that's one thing. Just taking that's exactly what Roderick and Rodney and them have been saying, is to slow things down, because you don't want to rush, give them a book, and I know we all have seen our book walk away without coming back. And that will set it up for that position. The other thing too is that we were working with somebody for Joseph Aaron's business, and that gentleman hadn't properly prepared by going through the material that he should have by the time we got to that meeting. So I was like, put a brakes on it. Let's go ahead, take your time, do it, and we'll come back at it. And I shared with him that here's the thing. My coaches, all of this material that we're giving to you, right? This is important because it shows how well you're able to absorb knowledge. Because when you start working with us, it's going to be a heck of a lot of knowledge, right, and information. So this is kind of like a prelude to that, to see how well you're able to get new information, assimilate it, and even ask questions on it, right? And so all of this is kind of like a test. So you want to make sure that you do well here. And the gentleman seemed to have understood it, so we look forward to connecting with him early next week about that. And then there's another one we did for Brittany's business this week, on a day this week. We did it, I did Friday, Thursday, someday this week, it doesn't matter. But was it Saturday? It was yesterday. Right, her name was, yeah, so much going on. Yeah, so her name was Nia. She's actually a cousin of Nia, right? Yeah, cousin of Brittany, and she is so zen, guys. And our mentors always talked about mirroring people. And guys, you know, I always bouncing off some kind of wall when I'm talking to people. So I had to make sure to not bounce off of too many walls, being excited about life, right? Because she's super zen, martial arts and everything. And one of the things, just talking about slowing down the process, one of the people that she listens to make decisions is her dad, even though she is financially viable by herself. She talks about already, at she's the age of 20, she already has close to $5,000 saved to buy a house. I was like, girl, where you at though? Who's there at 20 years old with enough money to buy a house and doing 3 jobs to put aside to do that? Yes, I checking my couch to get coins for these things. And then she has this money laid up. So we realized that from the MG1, we realized that she is very strong-minded, which is great. But you also want to listen to who are her decision makers, because you don't want to get to a launch and then dad say, I ain't not about that life, you know, I hear you. But no, even though she said that she believes and she's her own woman and everything like that, we also too want to take a step back and allow her dad to be at the meeting so that both of them can go through the process together. So that's another thing, again, just picking up subtle cues, because we've learned the hard way by getting people ready to launch and they say, my dad don't want to do this. My mom tell me something. Yeah, we don't like these type of things. So the idea is to slow down, get everybody who helps that person make a decision at the table so that everybody is aware. So just it's a lot of growth happening all over. So very excited by that. And definitely, just as Rodney talked about, MG1 and MG2 are critical meetings. So everybody just take their time, do it well, and it's not a race to the finish line. It's about quality troopers. All right.
All right.
Anybody else? Yeah. We know that already. Yeah. All right, blow me up, man. Okay. Okay, all right. Oh, you can barely see me. Okay, all right. Anyway, so I want to take it to the other spectrum where you could actually speed it up, but only speed it up if it needs to be sped up. You know, so I've had 3 incidences in the last 2 weeks where I'm just sitting down, sipping my coffee or sipping my spearmint my spearmint tea while I'm fasting. You know, and people come up to me in the coffee shop or bookstore or whatever, and they start to talk, and and I find myself I'm talking for more than half an hour, you know, to this person, and these are highly qualified people. I'm not talking about you. Okay, all right. So one is an author, you know, he writes books. And then the other 2 are some high-tech people. So where they're talking, and I'm getting to, I'm like, wait a minute, the questions I am breaching and the information I'm finding out are the same things we find out in MG1 and MG2. So all I did was at the correct time, like what Campton Nacho taught us, at the correct time, I if I don't hear them talking about giving or whatever, I say, you know, I actually have a business where we concentrate on giving also. And they're like, really? And all of that stuff. And I asked them, you ever heard of network marketing? And they said, no. And one guy said, yes. You know, and so, and then later on the conversation, this is about an hour long, you know, each conversation. And then later on I said, have you ever heard of Robert Kiyosaki? You know, and some guys say yes, some say no. And I said, listen, I want to lend you that book. And then maybe when we meet back, I could tell you more about my business, you know, and I give them I said, let me give you a week to finish it. And the author, he gave me his book to read, you know, it's a book on marriage, so I need to read it, you know. You know, and so I didn't use 1 hour and then get their phone number and then get back to them the next week. There's no reason to slow it down. If I've already breached all the relevant areas that I need to breach, okay, and to talk about, I just went ahead and do it, and all 3 are still in the process, and we see where it takes us.
New people?
Yeah.
Back to the host.
Back to the host.
All right, back to the host.
You know? I have to get used to that. Sometimes Kenneth takes over and I'm like, oh, Kenneth's the host right now? Okay.
Oh, you think I was
All right, so next we have any new people. Oh, by the way, great huddle.
Yeah. Good job, team. Good job.
Any new people want to come up and you know?
Yeah. I'll start as a deal. So I think deal could come true. Yes. So you invite you tonight. You can make one about our video. Yeah, man. You right. Oh, one person can. Yeah.
My name is Dale. How you doing? I was invited by. Okay, I was invited by Trevor. And what really excites me about this is that it's an opportunity for people who, like me, average people, to actually get in on something bigger than themselves. So.
Oh, welcome, yeah, right? Good for audiobooks, you know? And, you want to come shift for this one? Come closer to me. So she can be good stuff.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Jeff Chevron. I actually was invited by Aaron Thompson. He's my former coach. What excites me about this business is that just meeting new people and be able to experience new things that is over myself, and just being able to get some more knowledge that I did not have. Just opening my mind to things that I had not thought about, things that are in my mind, but it's just enclosed. And this business is actually, just by reading books, is opening my mind up to newer things that I didn't know I have in my mind at all.
Wow. That's awesome.
Hi everyone, I'm Jason Hawkins. I was also invited by Aaron. I'm most excited about just seeing how I'm going to change through this process mentally, and just as an individual, how I'm going to grow, as well as like being able to have the opportunity to give back in a way that I never thought I'd be able to give back to my family.
That's it for Tallahassee right now. All right.
My name is Jordan Howard. I am in college. I'm a college student. I was invited by Ken, my mentor, and I want to learn more about money management and how to use my money wisely, and looking forward to the remaining steps. So.
Awesome.
I guess I can go now.
Yeah.
Camera, Alex, please.
Hi. Hello, everyone. I'm Alexandra Hollins, but you can call me Alex. Just got the offer yesterday, so I'm very new to this, and I'm just excited about the new possibilities of what could happen, and just the new mindset that you guys have taught me about in such a short time.
And she was invited by you, right, Rodney? Let's double check.
Yes,
Yeah.
invited by Rodney.
Welcome.
Okay.
Back to the host.
Back to the host. You can't blame me this time.
It's me this time. Yes. Okay. So. My bad. Thanks to all of the people showing up, representing. You know. So next we have the function promo video by Miss Carol. Hype us up.
Awesome.
Thank Ms. Carol for showing that great promo video. Last but not least, we'll get the wrap up from our very own Platinums, Ms. Compton.
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Hey.
Good evening, everyone. We're Compton Prasad. Very proud to be sponsored by the Awesome Diamond, Sanjeev Mashwana Sahai. Also mentors, and here's my wife, Nadia.
Well, space was incredible. I love all the new people speaking. Trevor hosting was awesome. Same thing, the streaming. It's so funny, we were just listening to that streaming today. So it is an incredible streaming by Dan Yun. And he covered the best content, like this part where he says, he's Chinese, and he says, do you know, like in Chinese we say Chinese New Year. Chinese New Year, you say, what do you say? What is that thing that they say? Kong Hee Fa Choi, yeah. Kong Hee Fa Choi, that means Happy New Year, I guess, right? He says, when I was younger, all I heard was, come here, fat boy. He says he used to be a fat kid, So when he got into the business, he was excited about Car Blocker. So that was his way of promoting the Car Blocker. I thought that was it was funny. But anyways, incredible streaming again by Julia Rose. And of course, Crystal with the book. She did a great job.
So it's 3 books in one here.
And that's just the power of the BWW system, guys. The way it changes you, the way you speak, everything just changes once you start reading and being a part of the system and plugged into the system, because the words that you speak just have so much more power to them. And we're just very proud of each and every one of you. The whole lineup was awesome. Welcome to the team, Alex, and I know we have Jordan here, and the two Tallahassee. I didn't quite get you guys' names, but welcome to the team, and we're here to help you guys, each and every one of you, to accomplish whatever it is that you're looking to accomplish. And in this business, it requires work, and the work in this business is basically like you're associating today, working on yourself, basically, to improve yourself, to become the better version of you. And that's what this BWW system does. And you saw the conference that's coming up, and we have one coming up in 4 weeks. I am so excited. At the end of April, we have our spring leadership, and this is going to be in Richmond, Virginia. The ticket, as you see, is $160. And we just got word that this is one of the largest sales of ticket they have had for spring leadership. So the numbers are looking great. That was one of 4 spring leadership, I believe, or even 5. So just imagine, guys, business is just exploding everywhere. And we are excited to be there because we're going to be a part of the Nardoni, Miller, Brit conference. So that's going to be good. It's quite different. You're going to hear the Populados, the NAFTIs, some of the best speakers on the BWW stage, in my opinion, you're going to be hearing there from this weekend. That weekend, and it's going to be incredible. So I know Gala had theirs this weekend as well, and we kept getting messages from our upline, Sanjeev, what an awesome talk he gave, so I could just imagine, can't wait for that to come out on streaming, guys. That's why you need to be on streaming, so that you can get all these talks that you're not there present to listen to. But it's going to be an incredible weekend, and we're excited to be there. We're excited to bring a lot of new people. If you're new sitting in the room, just find out where you are in the process. Can you come to that conference? It's $160 again, but that is an investment again into yourself. It is 3 days of teaching. It is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And it's called leadership for a reason. It teaches you how to lead. In this business, if you're going to build big business or organization, you have to learn how to lead. And first you learn how to lead yourself, and then you can lead organizations. So it's going to be an incredible weekend. Can't wait to see each and every one of you there. But here's my awesome husband. There's a lot to share.
All right. One of the things that Nadia, we're talking about a book about changing and improving yourself, So when I joined the business, I was there's not too much that I need to change, So it's like kind of almost perfect. And what I used to do is I used to look for books and information that Nadia needs to change, And then I remember one specific book was What Husband Wish Their Wives Knew, And I would read the book and underline stuff for her to read that she needs to change in order to treat me nicer, And then guess what she did? She got a book that what wives wish the husband knew, Yes. But what I say in this business right now with the process, the first asset that we look at to develop is what? Or is yourself, right? And that is so true. If you cannot develop and change to grow this business, then it's going to be a long, hard journey. And the faster you understand that and get into the books and the streaming and the association is going to be much easier. Okay, we're talking about MG1s and MG2s and drop the message and all that all in one pretty much. Like Kenneth was saying that if you have the time, and people are there that you can talk for an hour, yeah, within that hour conversation, there's certain things I'm going to talk about. Because what am I going to talk in 1 hour if, just right? So I'll utilize that time. Like you say, you can kind of do a pre-MG1 there, and like you said, I would want to talk to you about my business and I'll lend you the book later on, In fact, one person that I have right now, he's coming to BP2 Tuesday, is that when I met him, we were talking about mentorship program. And when I sent him back the message, I said, listen, I would like to continue the conversation with you about what our mentorship program does and how it can help you, And then he said, yes, I'm open to this and that. And so he's at BP2 right now. And also again, too, that one thing you've heard here today with people dropping the messages, right, is that there's some framework and guidelines to drop in the message, but it's not an exact science pretty much. It depends on the individual you're there thing. So I'll give you a couple of examples. One lady that I did an MG1 with herself and her husband yesterday. We met her through the accident that the view was involved in about a week ago. And all I did was she stopped back, she stayed back for the accident. So I just went and thanked her for staying back, to kind of assist my daughter. And then I say, hey, you never know why people meet, right? There may be a reason. She say, yeah, and then we just exchange information, and I met them yesterday because she heard. And then when I did the MG1, I started off with her husband there, say, your wife and I, we actually meet accidentally. Literally meet accidentally. So you see, right, at an accident, and so within my MG1s, and so don't go for long, 30 to 45 minutes the most, but I lay the groundwork for what I'm going to do with my MG1. I'm letting them know it's a process. I don't make the selection. either qualify or disqualify yourself. This is some stuff we're gonna go through, and depending on. And then when I finish talking a little bit, then I give them the chance to talk, and then I sit down and listen. I ask them a question here: what has brought you to this point in your life? Right now, it's up to them to how far they go back, and then they would tell me what has brought. And I'm listening for things that they're gonna tell me that I can refer back again to whenever we're doing the MG2 next, And then, like, depending on the individual and where the conversation goes, I decide now if I want to go take it to the next step and lend them the book, because there may be some red flags immediately that right? So it's the thing. But right now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 people in the process, right? At various levels. We have 2 at MG1s and 2 at BP2s coming up for Tuesday. And my whole goal is to get 10, as we have heard on some of the streaming, is to get 10 in the process at one time. And then I'm like, again, doing it in batches, right? But so I know I have a batch of 10 people that I'm going to be working with, the numbers that I have. And one person I did, the last MG1 I did was a manager at Marshall's, right? I'm going and saw him. He have on a tie. Anybody dressed nicely, I like to talk to him. That's what I just do. Or now, And but he was walking up and down the fast. I said, "Excuse me, could you slow down a little bit?" I said, "You must be the manager here." Here, I used to be a manager before I left, and I came back. I'm like a junior manager having to start over. I said, "But there's something about you. I just noticed that you're walking very fast. It's either you're busy or you're a very progressive type of person." Because from experience that I know that people who walk fast, the brain is going fast, And yeah, that's who I am. That's who I am, And he is a progressive person, thinker, And so I met with him at the MG1. So you see, you drop the message and you contact, It's just that you gotta be observant of certain things, like today, because I need to get another set of people to work with to expand my business, and we are always in that process mode. I tell Nadia before the PASE, let's go. And we left here about 2 o'clock today. We only had about 2.5, 3 hours to get back here. We went to PASE Market. PASE Market, and there's lots of people there, but sometimes it's not easy to have a conversation or message. And so they had some food to sit down and eat it. But again, it's about knowing what's happening in your surrounding. I don't know if they noticed it, but I sat down and I saw a couple with the 2 kids came, and they had they're right there, and the people went and bought our food. It was an Indian restaurant, Botiwala or something like that, right? And I saw they had a menu, and so when we finished eating, we were leaving. I like, "Hey, excuse me, I noticed you're going to be having some Indian food, And they said, "Well, yes, this is our first time." And we were talking. He's from Newark, New Jersey, and right there between my conversation and we quickly connect with certain things, either where people from, or the profession, or where they come from, like nationality, like Bahamian or Trinidadian or Guyanese or whatever, And I like to ask people here in Atlanta, where are you from? And then when they say, I said the reason why, because in my business, see, I throw it out there. In my business, I talk to a lot of people, and a lot of people I meet here in Atlanta is from some other state. And that's when he threw it back to me. I am from New Jersey, Newark. And so that was our connection there. And he works in the financial industry. And, and I tell him right there, hey, have a business, and got his number. And I know we're going to have an MG1 coming up, because that's what we speak in. We having 10 people in the process, right? And so we out there. And but that was the last minute to leave. Just for us to get back here in time. We had a conversation, we got him.
I guess it's just about having that goal, as Trevor was talking about, going, just making sure that you're intentionally going out there and dropping your message, telling your story, because people out there do need that. There's so many people that are hurting that needs the opportunity that we have our hands on, and by just not saying anything or just walking out there and just living your life, it's pretty selfish by not opening up your mouth and say something. So we feel obligated to share our story and drop our message, because that's what we do. You know, whether or not the connection is there or we get a number, it doesn't matter. But we do what is in our control. And so that's it.
And Anya's going through the mentorship program right now, and her goal right now is just to start conversation. Not looking to get any way with it, but start a conversation. And we went into one store, and Anya started a conversation with a young lady there, and this young lady was so excited about. She works in the store about the products there, and she and Anya hit it off like unbelievable, you know. And she like. And then Annie came out of the store, you know, Annie she was like, I started the conversation. Yeah. But anyway, it was a fantastic piece. Thank you, Anthony, for being the audio video guy. We are very everybody. We like to welcome Alexander, Alex, Farad in business. Sugadi also called last night. She's ready to rock and roll. And lots of new guests. Welcome to the team. You know, listen, one thing that changed our lives in the business when we got started, it was a similar function to the one that is coming up at the end of April, right? And if I figured that maybe if we didn't have gone to that conference, I don't know how long we would probably have been in the business. But when we went there and what we saw there, we saw people of all different nationalities, all different education backgrounds. They were housewives, single, students, doctors, lawyers, scientists, you know what I mean? Single guys, single girls, married couples, you know what I mean? Everybody was very excited about life and you know where they were going in life. And I say, you know what? We like this association, these people, and not to mention the information that we got there. And more so than that, the belief level that we got, because we saw people just like ourselves who were already achieving some level in the business, and we say, you know what? If those individuals can use the system and achieve that level, then we also can do that too. Once you don't quit, and now with the process, the results is coming better, faster, and more retention rate is happening. So make sure who does say now, make sure you speak to the person who's working with you. Find out how you can get a ticket to come to there, because the ticket like now this is going very fast and you may not be able to go there. Also the room system. But with that, back to the host, and we open up from Georgia.
Thank you, Platinums. Illustrious Madam Captain Nadia, thank you again for PACE, everybody. Hope y'all had a very enlightening PACE. Riding Roger. But keep up. See y'all next Sunday.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Later, Kenneth.
Bye.
Yeah, Roger.
Bye.